All right, guys, welcome back to Heralds and Trumpets. Today we're talking high notes, everybody's favorite topic. And I know it's going to take a few seconds for people to find this video because it's live on a Saturday afternoon. So it won't be the most popular video I've ever done live. However, it could be a very popular video when you guys see it later. So the first thing I want to say is that I don't necessarily endorse just playing high notes. Yeah, they're fun, they can be exciting, but we need to learn how to play the entire instrument. And learning how to play high notes, actually doing the training to play high notes, is not playing high notes all the time, it's actually learning to do other things. So let me disclose, I am playing on a Spectratone Blue mouthpiece. This is on Kickstarter right now. It's going to end very soon, so if you guys would like to pick up one of my mouthpieces, fully modular setup that you can make fit you however you want, then this is your last chance. There's only a few days left, and then it's gone until November. In November, it will go back on sale on our website for $400, so it's your choice. You can pay $200 now or $400 then. And then I'm also playing on the XV1 trumpet, and this one is a brand new Harrelson trumpet in our inventory that was finished in silver and rose gold. I'm letting you guys know that because otherwise you can ask me a ton of questions about it later. So, and the other thing is the Spectratone Blue, I added on the smallest throat and one of the smaller backbores. All right, so let's play some high notes, right? So what does it take to play a high note? Well, a lot of people are gonna say a lot of air, right? And if you notice if you go back in this video and you look at the thumbnail photo of me to play this video, I intentionally did this. I pretended like I was just doing all kinds of really crazy hard stuff with my embouchure, which I can do, but it's not really going to help me that much. I don't know if I look like I'm playing that hard to play a high C, but there are two basic ways to play high notes. I want to train you on one, knowing the difference between them, and two, knowing which one is going to serve you better. So the first way is mouthpiece pressure. And mouthpiece pressure is where you just pinch the lip in between your teeth and the rim of your mouthpiece. And when you push really hard and you get it balanced just right, you can play high notes. And a lot of players who go for a high note, they do that. So they're like this. And then they pull real hard and their fingers in here and they add all this extra pressure. And the nice thing about that is you probably are going to get a high note out, at least for a little bit. The downside is you're going to destroy or at least damage the tissue on your lips, and that's not good for us either. So the other way is aperture control. And this is the way that most players and most teachers believe doesn't work. And I've heard so many arguments to say you cannot use aperture control to play high notes. But the reality is we're all using aperture control to play high notes. Even when you're using mouthpiece pressure, there's aperture control. Because the mouthpiece pressure is squeezing the aperture smaller. And the smaller aperture lets a lot of different things happen. In physics, we need to make sure that the airspeed increases, either when we're playing louder or when we're playing higher. And we also need to make sure that if we're playing louder, we let more air out. It can be a tricky thing to balance all of these because you've got the air pressure inside your mouth, you've got the vibrating surface or length of your lip, and balancing that with the volume you want to create, like how loud it is, and the pitch you want to create. So all these things are variable, and they're not easy to understand unless you break them into pieces. And in trumpet momentum, I dive into every single piece, but I'm going to give you guys a couple exercises today in just less than 10 minutes to help you understand how to do this. So it's a fairly short video that teaches those of you who are working on this, or you used to have great chops and now you're trying to get them back, or you've never gotten to that point yet. So let's say you're in second grade or you're 92, this is going to apply to all of you. The first thing you want to do is take a breath and let most of the air out. So like this. And after you have just a little bit of air left, go ahead and close your lips, and you're going to be pulling the top lips down and the bottom lips up. So basically, or the muscles, the top lip muscles down and the bottom lip muscles up like this. So imagine you're just pinching down, but you want to be able to let a little air out of the middle. Okay, so a little air out of the middle is important because that section of your lips doesn't have to be loose, but it does have to be open enough for air to come out. If you tighten too much and the air comes out the sides, it's not going to help because that air isn't going to go in the mouthpiece, right? If that happens. So we want it to come out the middle. So I'm just letting little spurts out. Let me do it again. I hardly had any air. So I'm just letting a tiny bit of air out. And I'm not trying to play loud yet. You know, a lot of us want to be able to play really high loud notes. But in reality, you need to start playing them soft and gradually increase the amount of airflow to make them play louder. So the main concept here is that this has to happen by making the aperture smaller. So instead of making my lips really big and letting all of the tissue vibrate, which a lot of players say you should do, what I'm saying is you're going to make this little opening small and just let the air come out the smallest point. If you were to theoretically take the lip length and make it shorter and shorter, you should be playing higher and higher. Now, when you start to play louder, it will open up a little bit, and then we increase our lip tension, and that's a whole nother thing. So we're not going to discuss it any more than that today. But the main thing is for you to really understand that the amount of air that comes out has to decrease. The vibrating surface, the lip length, has to decrease as well. And as you play higher, and you want to play softer as you play higher. So if I'm slurring from low to high, I can play loud when I'm low and get softer as I go higher. Now that was a soft high C. And there aren't many places you're going to use a soft high C. However, the most exposed solos in the world call for soft high notes. So you want to learn how to do that. I'm playing very, very soft. Most of the things that you hear on trumpet that get you excited are loud high notes, right? Do you know why loud high notes are the easiest notes you can play compared to soft high notes? It's simply because you're forcing air to come through at a high volume and high pressure. And when you do that, then you can increase the oscillations of your lips, and you can also increase the amplitude at the same time. So playing high notes loud is by far the easiest way to play high notes. All you really need to do is build up a lot of strength. Try not to pop a blood vessel. You don't want to have an aneurysm or push out a blood clot and have a stroke or anything like that, which happens all the time. But you do want to be strong enough to be able to push, right? So your thoracic muscles are going to compress to get a lot of that high pressure at the same time as a lot of high air volume. So I can do that, but we don't want to. That is the easiest way to play high notes. What you want to do is find ways to control the aperture itself. And the vast majority of people who hear this, they don't follow through, they don't learn it, they don't practice it, and they have problems the rest of their lives until they figure it out. Most of the lead players I've ever played with are playing with too much mouthpiece pressure. I mean, too much meaning their lips are mutilated. And they're playing with too much airflow, meaning they can't play soft, they're always playing too loud. This is why when you go hear a big band gig, a lot of times the saxophone players have the same problem. A lot of times everybody's just a wall of sound, and the room is relatively small, and it really doesn't fit. You know, Duke Ellington, his band wouldn't have played that way. They had finesse, they could control their volume, and they would wail when they needed to wail. But there should be dynamics in every group, especially in acoustic groups. So we want to learn how to play soft. So what you want to do is find the right amount of airspeed, which is faster, the right amount of closure on your aperture, which is going to be a small aperture, and a very narrow or short vibrating surface, which is going to be your top lip. I'm not going to tell you how to do all this. You can join Trumpet Momentum on YouTube and learn it, but this is a quick introduction for you guys to help you. And then the other thing you want to do is make sure that your your airspeed is such that you can set up the oscillations in your lip to play high notes. Because essentially, if that track or that lip is shorter, then the oscillations will be faster because the wave is traveling a shorter distance. And that is really one of the basic fundamental pieces of what we learn in physics, and it's really important it does apply to trumpet. So learn to play higher, softer. And then when you learn to do that, then you can open it up like this. So I am opening and closing my lips, and I'm changing the airspeed as I go higher, but I'm letting less air out as I go higher, so it becomes softer in terms of volume. Now, when you get up to that high C, control it to the point where you can make it so soft that eventually your lips just close. I literally closed my lips. You don't want to actually close your lips when you're performing, but you want to get as close as you can. Now let me do the opposite. Instead of closing my lips, I'm going to add a little more air volume, and I'm going to open them. Here's what happens. So now I have a huge, massive wall of sound that literally just hurt my ears. You want to be able to do both. Most teachers and most band directors and friends and colleagues are not going to tell you this because they don't know it. But you need to be practicing making that aperture smaller and larger. When you make it smaller, you need to use less airflow. So you need to back off on the air pressure. And when you play louder, you need to open it up and add more. You need to do both. So if you want to get good at playing high notes, take your average C in the staff, make it loud and soft, back and forth. And literally learn to close your lips when you make it so soft. So the idea is just a little bit of air going over your lips when they're very close together will produce a soft pitch. And then I open them up and add the air pressure to play louder. How do you play higher then? Well, it's not with air pressure. It's with tensing your lips and making the aperture smaller. So if you want to play the same dynamic volume, loud, and play higher, then you need to really compress your lips, make the aperture smaller, add more air pressure, and at the same time, you need to change the durometer. So you're going to be tensing your lips, and a tense lip is going to vibrate at a higher oscillation, a higher frequency. So I can do that, but I'm still changing the aperture when I do it. I hope that made sense for you guys. I know I'm a little over 10 minutes. I want to thank you for watching, and let me just check and see if I have any questions. So I didn't offer to answer questions, but I've got 1 minute. If you have a question, post it right now. Otherwise, I want to thank you for watching my videos. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and watch the free trumpet momentum videos. If you're serious about becoming really good at playing the trumpet, then consider becoming a member of my YouTube channel, because when you're at the intermediate level, you're going to get the full trumpet momentum videos, which are very helpful. They're very in-depth, and they're going to stretch you guys further than you've probably ever been stretched. If you want to take it even further, then go to the advanced level, and that advanced level is going to help you because you get the written exercises and my entire blog, which is on a special website you don't get access to unless you subscribe. Thank you, DMV Trumpet Academy. I appreciate that. Thank you, Paul. It's good to see you guys. You know, I'm surprised anybody showed up on a Saturday unannounced, but you know, we had like 30, 40 people, so that's pretty cool. Quick review. These are the exercises you want to be doing. You almost want to be closing your lips. Do the same thing on high notes. it doesn't sound good because I'm literally closing my lips to where there's almost nothing left. A variation of this is just play soft, but so don't use a lot of air pressure. Just play soft, but then also just play with the aperture size as you're on a high note. So I'm going to start on a C, and I'm just going to gradually kind of tweak my muscles, just basically taking the aperture and making it just a little bit smaller, and at the same time tightening up my aperture as I do it. It looks like this. And all I'm doing is this. Just little tiny changes in my aperture. Don't forget, high notes aren't the only thing. Play other stuff and stretch yourself other ways. One thing I like to do, and if you listen to my videos I've played over the years, I like to go to a different key or chord like every couple seconds, and that really stretches me. So for instance, I'm going to play a little bit in E, and then I'm going to go straight to B flat, and then I'm going to go to C, and then I'm going to go to A flat. And I do that because it really stretches my brain. I think, oh wow, I'm in a completely different key. You can also take a pattern. So we're outside of high notes for a second. You can take a pattern and put it in different keys. If you know the circle of fifths or the circle of fourths, then you can do something simple like just 1, 2, 3, like the first 3 notes of a scale. So that's just on C, right? And if you do that on F, that's F. Now I'm going to B flat. E flat. So on and so forth. That's a fun little thing to do. But you could add the fifth, so like this. That's another great way to practice. All right, I saw a couple comments, and then I actually have to go. I was filming a live video for Trumpet Momentum, and I thought, well, you know what? I should do a live, quick little thing to help you guys who are not members. Where do you get all of the energy? I have no idea. John, we'll certainly be checking out your site. I'm an older comeback player. Awesome. And you know, John, all you have to do to get the Trumpet Momentum stuff is join on YouTube. So there's a join button on my page. You can click it. And even if you join at the entry level, which is called beginner, you're going to get a lot from it. But I think we have about 40 or 50 members that are intermediate or advanced. And that doesn't mean you're an intermediate or advanced player. It just means you're getting more of the content. So if you want to be stretched in how you play and how you approach the instrument and music, and want to also add creativity to that and basically master the trumpet, then this is a great way to do it. So any questions on playing high notes? It was a super quick, almost irresponsible way of giving you guys information because it's too short. But I wanted to help you guys, and I hope you have fun with it. So this is basically how I practice. I don't really do a lot of pedal tones, but sometimes I like to go down there, loosen it all up, and bring it back. Sometimes it's fun to do some pedals and then get back up to high C. And that is more challenging because then you're really loosening it up and really bringing it all back together. And then I also do a lot of these, where I'm just basically playing with my tongue height and the little tiny changes in my aperture. All right, cool. Paul, can't wait to get your Spectratone. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Also, I want to say thank you to everyone who's backed us on Spectratone, which is a Kickstarter campaign. I appreciate that. That's this mouthpiece. That's our fully modular mouthpiece that can become whatever you want. If you're interested, check it out. But thank you guys. Have a great weekend. It is super hot here in Denver. If you ever want to visit us in Denver, Colorado, give us a call or email us. We'd love to give you a tour and see you. I'm like in the showroom right now and show you how everything's built. And you can check out the fully modular Muse Trumpet and all of our other instruments. You don't have to buy anything. You can just come here and have fun. We love visitors and we love giving tours. And there's a lot of stuff to do in Denver and in Colorado. So we're always here for you there as well. And as I was about to say, it's really hot outside because it's the middle of July or the end of July. And I just heard some major thunder. So I need to stop this video and go shut down my machines because I have all the machines running, making trumpet parts right now. And if we get a lightning strike, that would be very bad because it'll hurt them. So thank you. I'll see you guys next time.